As actors, we get to rely on scripts to tell us what to do.
Like when to slap someone across the face and when to let someone slap you.
But we don't need a script to tell us to help someone in need.
The SAG Foundation was founded to do just that, to help performers with life's unscripted moments and to give back to our communities.
Over the past decade, the SAG Foundation has given millions in financial and medical assistance to SAG-AFTRA performers and their families.
Last year, more than 25,000 union performers attended over 500 SAG Foundation Q&As, seminars, and workshops.
And SAG Foundation Book Pals read to over 60,000 children in schools every month nationwide.
Do you know how much SAG-AFTRA members pay for all these resources and programs? Zero.
Zero.
Zilch.
Nada.
Do you know how much of our union dues go to the SAG Foundation? Zero.
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 The SAG Foundation is a nonprofit that relies solely on donations, so it is vital that those who are able to help give what they can.
And you've been giving since the SAG Foundation was founded in 1985.
I love 1985.
Out of Africa.
The Color Purple. The Goonies.
The Cosby Show.
Family Ties.
The Golden Girls.
What?
So many truly fantastic performances since then.
We have a wonderful history and a beautiful tradition of being there for one another. If you need help, it's here for you.
And if you can help, please give.
Like every great production, we are at our best when we all act
Together.
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 So please, act now.
Hi, I'm Eliane Morden-Kitchhaven, Executive Director of the SAG-AFTRA Los Angeles Local. It gives me great joy to welcome you to the third year of the Dancers Forum in Los Angeles. Through live streaming, this evening's event is able to reach viewers across the country, and I know that the information you gain will be educational and inspiring. So welcome, and thank you for joining us.
I'm Terry Beecher, SAG-AFTRA National Director for Specialty Performers. Every day I see the special challenges and needs of the dancer community. And every day I'm inspired by your talent, your tenacity, and your grace in what is a notoriously competitive field. My hope is that the Dancers Forum provides information that personally touches each of you, as your art touches us all. And I'm proud to be a part of this educational event for the third year in a row. Thank you and enjoy the program.
Hi, I'm David White, National Executive Director of SAG-AFTRA. This is yet another year that we are celebrating dancers at this annual forum, and I'm delighted to help get the event started. Dancers are such an integral part of our union, and so few people can truly appreciate your contribution to modern storytelling. From movies to television, music videos to live tours, this union is proud to protect dancers' careers and livelihoods, allowing you to pursue your craft, knowing that you will be fairly compensated and safe on any stage or set. The Dancers Forum provides valuable industry insight from experts and icons in the field, whose paths and stories inspire us all and help to keep the tradition going. I am delighted that SAG-AFTRA has once again partnered with the SAG Foundation and with Career Transition for Dancers, marking the third year of this unparalleled educational event. And I'd like to thank the wonderful teams involved from each of these organizations who work so hard to make this event happen. With that, to all of you, welcome to the Dancers Forum, stepping up, branching out. I hope that you learn a lot and that you have a great time.
Hello, I'm Jill Seltzer, Executive Director of the Screen Actors Guild Foundation.
And I'm Rochelle Rose, National Director of Actors Programs. We're so pleased to be partnering with SAG-AFTRA and Career Transition for Dancers to provide such a wonderful program of information and entertainment for dancers.
The SAG Foundation benefits SAG-AFTRA members at no cost. Programming includes panels and seminars focusing on the business side of acting, emergency assistance in times of crisis, and children's literacy programs inspiring a love of reading and serving the community at large.
And this past year has been a significant one for us. We're very proud to have opened the brand new SAG Foundation Actor Center in New York City.
Come and visit us at 1900 Broadway, where you'll find a classroom, a computer lab, and the state-of-the-art Entertainment Industry Foundation Voiceover Lab.
Enjoy the Dancers Forum, stepping up, branching out.
And our thanks to our producing partners for putting together this incredible program.
My name is Joanne DeVito. I'm the Administrator for Career Transition for Dancers. We help dancers at the beginning, middle, and end of their careers with grants to go back to school, start new businesses, career counseling, and national outreach project like you'll experience and see tonight. So welcome to our 2014 Dancers Forum, Stepping Up and Branching Out.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Dennis Baker. I'm the Life Raft Program Director. Thank you guys for being in the audience this evening. Thank you for everyone that's watching the live stream. Our moderator tonight has over 12 years in the business as a dancer, choreographer, instructor, host, and entrepreneur. When not sharing his passion for dance with the masses through a movement he started called Groove 3, you can catch him as a host for Dance Plug or choreographing for hot new emerging artists. So we're gonna get started tonight. So he's thrilled to be here. Please welcome Benjamin Allen.
Thank you. All right, good evening. How we doing?
I'm walking around here too.
I like that energy. Wonderful that you guys are here tonight. Give yourselves a round of applause for showing up and being here. I know it's not hard in LA traffic, all that good stuff. Also, just a quick shout out to everybody that's watching us via live stream. We appreciate you guys being here. So, unfortunately, Carrie Ann Inaba could not make it. She's not feeling well tonight, but we have a very, very special guest for you. She is an actress, dancer, choreographer, television director, television producer, and a member of the President's Committee on the Arts and Humanities. She is perhaps best known for her work on the 1982 musical drama television series Fame. Anybody know that? Of course. You've seen her as a judge on So You Think You Can Dance, and she runs one of the most prestigious dance academies in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Debbie Allen.
Okay. Woo, woo, woo. Hey, guys. Hey.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
She's here. She's here.
I know I'm not Carrie Ann. Come on, I'm gonna try it. Let me look. Carrie Ann, I love you, girl. I know you're watching at home, honey.
That's
I'm
right.
standing
That's
in your
right.
shoes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Stepping in
happy
at
to
the
be
last
here.
minute, and
Yeah.
I know you're coming straight from a rehearsal, right?
Straight from rehearsal, guys.
And she
I'm
still
sorry.
looks good, right?
I was gonna try to get cute, but you know.
It's all right.
Just working, threatening
here.
those children's lives, honey. We have a concert on Sunday. You know how it is.
Gotta crack the whip, right?
That's it.
Well, we're going to jump right into things. We've got a lot of great questions for you. You're the epitome of a dancer that has successfully branched out, which is our theme for tonight. Your achievements over the years have inspired so many to reach beyond the norm. When you first started, did you have any idea where this journey was going to take you?
I don't know. You know, when I first started, I just wanted to replace Shirley Temple. That's where it started when I was a little girl. And then I actually spent hours and hours on Saturdays watching those MGM musical films. And so I was watching more dance on film than seeing it live. I was from Texas, and there wasn't that much opportunity for me. You know, a lot of things were segregated. I couldn't go to the ballet school, but I did finally get in, and I got a full Ford scholarship to train at the Houston Ballet Foundation, and I studied ballet. I always saw myself as a child of the universe, honestly. It's how I was raised by my mother, Vivian Ayers. And growing up in Texas, we had wide open spaces, so I could always gaze at the universe and just try to figure out, where am I gonna fit in the Milky Way? That was kind of, I always saw myself that way, so.
So you did grow up in a very different era, something very different than today, like you said.
Not so different, honey, I don't know. We're slipping.
But you obviously had some challenges to overcome during that time. What was it that kind of kept you going and getting you through those challenges?
I think my mother, Vivian Ayers, was really the real spark around which every wheel turned in our lives. Me and my sister Felicia Rashad, my brother Tex Allen, and my baby brother Huey. Mama would probably, I think she lied to us a lot. She told us how special we were, and that when we couldn't get to a place, she said, oh, that's a club you don't want to go to. That's a bad club, you know, and it was all segregated, but you're going to go to this club. She packed us up and moved us to Mexico City. And there were no barriers, no boundaries, which is why I have such an affinity for those kids trying to get across the border, because I know I was on the other side just finding freedom there. As a child of 9 years old, I went to Mexico City. It was the first time I went into a Woolworths and I could sit at the counter and order a hamburger. It was the first time I could go to a ballet class and wasn't hampered because of my racial identity, my cultural identity. And it was Mexico, and they welcomed me, so I have an affinity to understanding what children need. What was the question, Chad?
Just talking about challenges, overcoming challenges.
So that was a big challenge. I mean, it's still a challenge, you know, because I really wanted to be a ballerina. I was so in love with Margot Fontaine. I actually met her. She came to Texas. She was so nice to me. Nureyev was an asshole, but that's okay. We're not going to talk about him. Oh, I got him back later, honey, years later in Studio 54. He wanted to dance with me then. Couldn't keep up. But he was mean to me as a child, but that's why I don't like it. I'm always nice to people because I know what that does to kids. Kids deserve just a moment. It doesn't take long to just say hello and be nice. But Margot Fontaine was dancing in Houston when they opened Jones Hall, and I just idolized her just from looking at her pictures. But it wasn't possible for me then. There was no Dance Theater of Harlem in Texas, child, please. I couldn't even get to the ballet class. I finally got into ballet class, and I was the first black kid at the Houston Ballet Foundation, and I'm so proud of that organization now that has opened its doors, and it's hard, and they have a lot of money, child, and it's great what they're doing for the dance world. But then there were challenges in New York. I went to an audition once, and I knew I was the best thing there. By then, I had gone to Howard University. I had studied acting, singing. I was ready, and they just couldn't cut me with the equity representative sitting there. But as soon as she turned it back, they went, you, and skipped over me, you. And then he said to me, you know, you're really good, but we don't need another brunette. So, you know, you can dye this mess. It can go blonde, honey, I'm good. It was interesting. But, you know, when you have it in your heart to do it, that's the thing about dancers. You know, we have it in our soul. It's in our DNA. I think dance was in my DNA when I was born. Someone asked me, you know, how's dance changed my life? Dance is my life. It's always been there. So it has helped me. Dance helped me overcome a lot of those problems because I felt like I danced through racial segregation and isolation and, you know, all of those things. And, you know, here I am. I'm doing a lot of interesting things still.
Yes,
still trying new things.
You spoke a lot about your mom being supportive.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of dancers along the road where their families are not supportive.
Yeah.
What words do you have to, you know, young dancers who, like you said, that it's in their blood, it's in their DNA, but family says, not going to do it?
That's really tough because it's so individual, especially for the boys. Especially for the boys that want to dance, and the father's like, you know, calm down, honey. You know, we see it's everywhere. They're worried about their sexuality. Honey, it's what it is anyway, so why are we tripping? You know, I'm so happy that the world of sports has openly embraced, you know, the gay players that have come out and not be afraid of all of that. I mean, it has always been an issue for the boys more than anybody. It's like, how are you going to make a living? How are you going to pay for your family? Blah, blah, blah. And girls, they pretty much always liked us dancing. But it was always tough for the guys. And that's why at my school, I have more boys than anybody. I don't make them wear tights. They can come, and I have probably about 40 boys in my school. And we're training them in the best technique of dance. I have masters from the Bolshoi and the Kirov there. And they eventually put the tights on, but it's because they decide they understand why they need to see their leg. But to get them in there, I gotta trick them. So they can, you know, I gotta trick them and trick their fathers. Right. So they'll calm down. Oh, please. They should have met Bob Fosse, honey. Ooh, honey, he had no problems. Okay. That's another story.
I know a lot of, speaking, you know, kind of on the same subject, I know a lot of families want their kids to go to school, go to college, get a degree. You went to college.
I did.
You actually got a degree in Greek literature.
I did.
Why Greek literature? How did that come about?
Well, I was rejected by a college that told me I wasn't going to make it as a dancer. I went to go to a dance college, and they told me that I should go into something else, that my body wasn't right for dance. And years later, they gave me an honorary doctorate and a gold medal, and, you know. But my mom kept me energized. My mom was really tough on me. She was so tough on me when they rejected me at that school. She didn't let me wallow in self-pity. Oh, they didn't want a black kid. Oh, they didn't want this. Oh, She said, you failed, Deborah. She said, you failed. I said, Mom, I was the best thing in the audition. They used me to demonstrate. She said, you failed. And it took a while for me to understand that she was letting me understand that it was up to me. Some man can't tell me you're not right and that's the answer. Hell, this is how I am now with the kids. Critics they tear me up all the time. Whatever, that's your opinion. They say that about the impressionist painters too, honey. Calm down. You can't even buy one. So you have to be tough. You have to be able to take criticism. You have to be able to move past someone's rejection of you. Dance is born on the pejorative, not good enough, got to do it again. We should be running the world because we are used to pain. We're used to being talked about. I mean, look at how they talk about President Obama. Nothing he does. He tries to protect people on a plane. That's not good. If it goes down, it's his fault. It just, no way can you win. You have to be above it all and do what you know in your heart is right for you.
I think that's a huge takeaway, especially for dancers in Los Angeles.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because you're getting no's all the time. People are telling you you're not good enough, you're not right. I know it took me a long time to realize that there are so many factors beyond the audition.
Yeah, so many factors. You know, you look at, I'm friends with Cynthia Gregory, who's always told us she would never make it in ballet because she's too tall. Or Judith Jamison. I danced next to Judith. Child, she didn't have to lift her leg any farther than that because it was so long. You know, and I was up there kicking like that trying to do something next to her. Honey, you know, but look at who she is. You know, the palace, the Ailey School is, we call it the palace. And she's the first lady of that house. And she's kept Alvin Ailey's legacy alive and well. And now Robert Battle is there. I mean, it's, you know, anyway.
Talk a little bit about dance education, because I know you were kind of touching on your training academy and what you know how you teach them all these techniques, and a lot of dancers moving out to LA and coming from backgrounds. How important is that dance education?
When you say the education, are you talking about the training in the room or the academic part of it, the literate aspect of it?
Let's talk about both.
Okay, well, let's say today, I had my kids. I have like 140 kids or something. Yeah, about 140 here from across the country studying in my dance intensive. And we are training in ballet, flamenco, tap. Jason Samuel Smith, the Prince of Tap, is there. But in order to dance in the recital, they have to pass a test. Because I teach them musical theater. And in musical theater, they have to know who is the director, choreographer, set designer, lyricist, composer of West Side Story. They have to know right now, because we're doing a whole thing on jazz, they have to know who is Duke Ellington. They have to know who is Lena Horne. They have to know who is Chick Webb. I'm talking about 8-year-olds. You know, the parents are panicked, but they're seeing that this is something good for them. They have to know the difference between musical theater and opera. What is the difference? Recitative and an aria versus a musical. They have to be able to name 3 musical comedies, 3 musical dramas, and the authors. They have to know who is Bob Fosse and Jerome Robbins. I'm not going to have it because I know that we are smart people. So I teach them that in the summer, but during the year, I expose them to art. They need to know who the Impressionist painters are, and they need to know how they can look in art and see dance. How they need to know what's going on in the world, because what are you dancing about? How do you feel about what's happening right now in the Middle East? How do you feel about what's happening right now in Russia? How do you feel about those girls that were stolen in Africa? How do we translate that into art? Because what are we dancing about? We can't just be happy all the time and just shake our butts. I did a piece that went to Australia last year, and I'm really trying so hard to get it up now. It's called Freeze Frame. And it's really my protest against gun violence in America. And I've been writing this since I first came here on Fame, because I moved from Texas to New York, and in New York I was like, oh my God, the buildings are so close together. And then I came here and there were just shootings every day. I couldn't wrap my mind around it. I was horrified that little children were being killed while their mothers are going down the street in a crossfire. So I finally wrote this thing, Freeze Frame, which is giving a face to the inner city kids and the challenges they have with education and sex and violence and guns and the police. And we went to Australia, and it was magnificent. And it was so powerful, and I felt so good about it, and I just want to do it again because I think it's important. It's giving a voice that needs to be heard, and it's an entertainment. I mean, they're dancing their butts off. It's sexy. It's all those things. It's a dance-driven narrative, but at the end of the day, it's about gun violence in America. You know, why is it that we have to register to get a license to drive a car, but not to have a gun? What is wrong with us? Where have we come? Where have we come to? Okay, you need a gun? Fine, just write your name down so we know you have it. And you don't need to have it, honey. You're mentally ill. We know you got challenges. No, not you. I don't know. So I think that young people and all dancers need to know what's going on in the world, because what are you dancing about? You know, when West Side Story first hit Broadway, they hated it. I don't know if you know that, but they got terrible reviews. They said, oh my God, a murder on stage. It's not a musical. You know, it's all supposed to be happy, happy feet. No, it is the quintessential American musical still. It is still, in my opinion, for so many, on so many levels. But it was not embraced when it first came out, because they didn't understand why was there violence. They just want to, you know, do something happy. I want to be happy too, but we got to be truthful and reflect life. That's what art is. That's what I think it is.
I love that you're such a big advocate for that and for teaching young dancers how important that is. And like you said, what are we dancing about?
Yeah, what are we
It
dancing
can't
about?
always just be happy, so kudos to you for that. A lot of dancers come through your school or you audition them for things. What is it that you're looking for? A lot of times people want to know from people like you, what do you look for in a dancer?
It's so hard to describe, but it's that, you know, people talk about a light that turns on, an energy. I think everybody has an aura. Everyone has an energy. You know, we haven't gotten to that mental state where we can actually physically see it. Maybe there are few people on this planet that can read people's auras, but everyone has an energy around them. Some people have negative energy, honey, you can feel it. Some people are just alive and brisk. So when someone is dancing, I am looking for that wonderful bird that's ready to fly. That's, I don't know, in the moment right now, that's how I'm thinking of it. And that bird that's ready to fly. I just did a show, Brothers of the Night, and we had, oh God, we left a footprint. We did 5 cities. It was crazy, but my husband helped me do it. We traveled with 30 kids, and in every city we trained another 65 to become the ensemble. So I sent my field sergeants out in every city. I got there to rehearse them, and then we put it together and we hit it. And oh my God, it was so wonderful for those kids. I mean, I had like 7 and 8-year-olds that could, like in 8 days, they learned every routine they had to learn, and we had been practicing on the bigger things. But it's just, I don't know, it's a whole nother purpose in life when you're dealing with these young people, and they have nothing. There is no arts education in our public schools, and it is a travesty, and it's not fair. I don't think we have an equal opportunity education in public schools because dance and the arts are becoming so privatized, which is why my school is a nonprofit. Yeah, people said, you know, you could really make money. And I said, you know, I'm not doing it to make money. I'm doing it to make a difference, because I was one of those kids. And if I didn't have that Ford Foundation grant, I never would have trained with Madame Semenova and Madame Tatiana, Nina Popova. My parents were middle-class people, but we couldn't afford all that. So we just got to try to help more.
Yeah, we need to help more. Needs to be more of that, more of you, more Debbie Allens. I'm going to transition a little bit. You've done so much with your career and jumped from dancer to choreographer, to singer to actress, all that stuff. And a lot of people end up making that transition at some point or another. What is your kind of advice or feedback for people who want to do that? I mean, I think sometimes people transition too soon, or they're not fully ready to transition.
It's opportunity. You know, to me, luck is opportunity meets preparation. So for me, when some opportunities have come up, I've always said yes. Even if I didn't know the answer, I'd go figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you want to come choreograph that? Yeah, child, yes, I'll do it, yes. Come on, you want to go do
Figure
it?
it out.
Yes, I'm ready. Yes, absolutely, yes. Go figure it out. Transitioning is a lot about perspective and having a wide angle lens through which you see things. So then, even in this wide view, you can clearly say, okay, I see this, but okay, this is working for me over here. I want to learn this, or paying attention. I learned directing on the job. I learned theater directing in college. I studied, as you know, the Greeks and all of that, but I have a BA in speech and drama from Howard University, and we did a lot of theater. But film directing, I learned on the job, and I was just paying attention when I was in front of the camera. I was always wondering, okay, what is this big thing in my, as a kid, I was watching the movies, so then when I was on the set, and this camera was in my face, and it went way back on a crane and dropped down, it was all one shot, I was paying attention. I was remembering, okay, I saw that Busby Berkeley thing, now I'm doing it, okay, this is how it's done. I was paying attention, and that translated into being the choreographer on Fame. When they asked me to do Fame, it was really, they said, we want you to play the dance teacher, and it's really going to be about the kids. I'm like, okay. I said, you know what, but as long as I could do the choreography, they're like, oh, please, you can have the choreography. We don't care about that. They didn't even know what they had said. They said, you can have all of it. I said, I'll take it. And they paid me $2 to do that. Honest to God, $2, almost $2, honey. The way I worked on Fame, we worked, there was no precedent. There was no show to tell me how to do it. That's what I'm talking about. I took on that challenge not knowing exactly how I was going to do it, but I knew I wanted to do it, and I figured it out. And then a couple of years later, Bill Spencer, who had been the camera operator on a lot of those MGM musicals, who was our DP, he said, come here, kid, I want to show you something. And he took me back in the MGM vault somewhere, and he pulled out the scenario for the big MGM Busby Berkeley musical, and it was written almost in what I had come up with on my own. I would write the time, how much music, what was happening, the lyric, and the camera move. I did all of that on my own, and he showed me that's how they did it, but they did it for every four notes, child. It was incredible. So if you have it in you to just take on the challenge sometimes, that is how you end up transitioning. I became their favorite director on Fame because I always did my homework, and I knew I was a girl, and that was tough. Everybody was a cowboy, and I had to hang with the boys and hear their terrible jokes. But it was all good because I learned a lot from them. They taught me, and then I challenged them. Bill Spencer used to get mad at me sometimes because I can't light her and him. This was beautiful black ebony Eartha Robinson and George Russell, red, freckled, the two best dancers. I said, they're going to dance together every week. I can't light them. I said, well, you're going to have to figure it out, Bill, because I'm not changing it. Now there. And he figured it out. So
you just got to be up for the challenge, ready to go.
Up for the challenge, trying to be ready to get knocked down and get back up. That's it.
I think it's interesting. I mean, LA has a reputation, obviously, for flaky people. And kind of what you're talking about is follow through, is accepting the challenge and then following through.
Following through.
Do you feel like dancers today are committed to things like that and following through and learning and going through the whole process?
Well, I can speak for the ones that are around me. I'm kind of mentoring another generation of young people that are aspiring to become directors, like I'm directing, the top shows in television now. They go on the set with me, they hang, they stay for days and days and days. They love it when they call them my interns. They're really, I call all of them my proteges. A lot of them are women, and some of them are actually, even on the set already, but doing different things, and I'm pushing them along to start directing. I think they just need the opportunity. It's not always right there, the opportunity, and sometimes people are, closeting and not wanting to share. I don't know, maybe I'm just an open book. That's just my nature. I don't feel like anything that I'm doing is a secret, or the way I do it, I need to hide it so nobody else can do it. I really think we all, walk on each other's backs. I mean, I don't feel like that. I feel like I can give them anything and everything, and they will find their way of doing it, and they'll do it their way, even though I say like this or like that, But it's just them having the opportunity. I think there's a lot of people with a lot of aspirations, especially right now, because you can put everything on the internet. Yeah. You can make a movie with your cell phone. I mean, come on.
And
it's
then be
what's
discovered
happening.
And all of a sudden you're choreographing on a huge show.
Well, it's what's possible. It's really possible now. The internet has really created a wonderful problem.
Like
wonderful
that.
problem.
Is there actually anything you wish you had done differently in your career?
I don't know. I think I'm a product of all the good and bad choices. I think those things are important. It's important when you make a choice, maybe for the wrong reason, that you learn for it. I mean, I remember making a choice once for money, and I was getting paid a lot of money, and it was the worst thing that ever happened to me, and I was so embarrassed. Oh my God, I was embarrassed. I said, okay, that's the end of that. I mean, there's some opportunities that I probably missed because I didn't quite understand how they were being presented to me. But I feel good about who I am right now. I'm good in my shoes. I'm good. I'm directing a lot of things. I mean, I'm directing Grey's Anatomy Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, Lee Daniels' Empire, a new show called Jane the Virgin, which is fabulous. You all are going to love that show. I just finished doing The Witches of East End, which I had a wonderful time there. And I'm just kind of like not taking any bookings right now because I want to be free to, do some theater and also be free to maybe do something that I don't know about,
Do you have personal time?
I don't
Is
have
there-
enough
is there me
personal
time in there?
I don't have enough personal time, honestly, because I like to read. I like to read books, and I like to read things. I was reading this book, what is it, The World Lit by Fire? All about the beginnings of the Catholic Church, the papacy. I had been watching the Borgeses, and I was really intrigued with that show. And then when I read the real story, it was the TV show was lightweight compared to what really happened. Oh my God. And it was just interesting to read about the genesis of the papacy and the religion, with religion being so the core of the biggest, some of the biggest warring groups right now is about religion. I'm trying to understand it. I spent a lot of time in the Middle East, and you have to go there to try to understand. You really have to go there. Because in America, we're born differently. When I went to the Middle East, where there's a group that prays 5 times a day. There's another group that are Christians that their whole life is they go to church every day. And I said, here in America, I don't know. I wasn't raised to die to be a Baptist. I don't know from that, I would stand up for my family and my kids, and my mom, but we're not the same. It's just different. You have to go there to try to understand. I was very confused when I left. I still was confused because they all look the same. See, I'm used to from here, the black-white thing. Okay, I'm black, you're white, okay. But they look the same. So why are they so angry? And I can't understand why Muslims are killing Muslims. I don't understand why this sect of Muslims does not accept that sect. I don't understand it. It's just hard for me. I'm trying to understand it. I don't know how we will solve the problems in the world, or if we can. I'm just hoping E.T. will come down. I really am. I swear I am. So that we can remember we're all brothers and sisters on the planet Earth. If E.T. comes down, and hopefully it won't be the Water Worlds, but somebody nice, like E.T., somebody lost, one of those children that's lost, and then we can realize we better get it together. we better get it together
Yeah.
because we're all on this planet together. And you know, that tsunami was so telling because it happened way over there, but the radioactive stuff is over here now. There's no such thing that it's over there and we're not involved. We're all involved. We're all breathing the same air, drinking the same water, you know, and somehow we have to do that. I really think if we could get all those children in a dance class, maybe we could solve the problems, you know.
I agree.
I'd like to put Putin's butt in a class, put him in a dance class. He needs a little discipline, honey. He's a little out of control. Out of control, honey. Mm-mm.
I think dance could change a lot in this world, yes.
Dance.
And art. I'm going to change gears a little bit. We have some questions from the audience. Thank you guys so much for submitting these. This is kind of a question that comes up a lot about the reality shows and how they've changed the career paths of dancers because now a dancer can be on a show and sort of has this fame, little celebrity status. What do you think about all that?
I think it's fantastic. I hope there's 10 more dance reality shows and more dancers get out there. I think it's great because dance is the real deus ex machina of every production. We are the spectacle and we're still the gypsies. You know, those kids on those shows don't get paid a lot of money. They don't. I'm not mad about it, but I'm just saying, you know, but when they see how hard we work to get where we are, even if people don't agree with the shows. I mean, you know, I don't watch all of them. You know, I can't watch Dance Moms. I can't watch the eyelashes on the children. I can't take the eyelashes, honey.
Well.
But I'm, you know, but it's whatever. But I'm just saying, it's putting dance on the map in a way and letting people see how hard it is to do what we do, that we are, you know, God's athletes in another kind of way, in a very artistic way.
You think it's definitely raised the bar for dancers out there, wanting to train and, you know, step up their game?
People are aspiring. You know, there was a time when they were aspiring to be a dancer on Fame. I remember when Paula Abdul was a baby and the Laker girl, and I met her, and then she was choreographing the Lakers, and then she came over to Fame, and she wanted to be with us. I mean, and now, you know, she evolved, you know, so the aspiration of being on So You Think You Can Dance is a good goal for a lot of people. I don't know if the show will be there that long. Hopefully it will. Hopefully Fox will do the right thing and keep it going. You know, Dancing with the Stars, that's a whole other thing, you know, that brings in other people. This is America's Dance Crew. I mean, there's a lot of little shows popping up. I saw something on the other day. I don't know, what is it? Something from New Orleans. I don't know what it was.
The cheerleading show?
No, it wasn't cheerleading. No. It was something else. It was a little... Anyway,
not that one.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Okay, we'll leave that one alone.
But I mean, I think it shows like So You Think have evangelized dance, and people love it. You know, when I met Mr. Obama the first time when he was running for president, and they told me and Felicia, you can't talk to him. He can't talk to anybody. We said, all right, honey, we'll stand. We won't say nothing, you know. And we stood in line. We waved, and he came over. Debbie, Felicia, we're like, whoa, oh, shut up, Secret Service. Back. And he was so happy to see us together. And then he told us how his wife loves So You Think You Can Dance and makes him watch it. I said, I love that. That's great. He said, okay, all right. But
that's great.
I mean, you know, that's good. You can't beat that.
I don't think so. Anybody beat that? That's pretty good. This is a great question. Have you ever had a moment where you've lost focus? And if you did, how did you bring your focus back?
Lost focus. Well, that time when I took that job for the money, I lost focus. That was bad. It was so bad. I won't tell y'all what it was, but it was bad. Bad. Yeah, that was losing focus.
Yeah.
You know, that was listening to
the wrong
an agent and a manager. You know, you get people around you. Sometimes they can help you creatively, but sometimes all they're looking at is what is the check coming in, you know. And we all need to make money, of course we do. But we have to do something, you know, it's so hard to do the work that we do. You have to be passionate about it. Directing is a hard job. directing is not easy. It may be glamorous to a lot of people, but it's hard work. I work really hard when I'm directing. I have to play everybody's part. I have to know exactly how I'm going to cut it. I have to be able to talk about the script, the set, the lighting, costuming. You know, you're the captain of a big ship, and you got to kind of know how you want the ride to go, because it's up to you. You come in there unprepared, and then they will eat you alive. The DP will just eat you alive. They'll go, oh, well, you know, I've seen them do it to other people. It's not nice. So you got to be passionate about what you do. I think that's the best thing I can say about my real work, is that I'm passionate about everything that I do.
What is it that keeps you motivated and going all the time?
They're different things.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm working with those kids, like those kids that had to take that test again, honey, a couple of them failed, but they had to take an oral test with me. And I'm looking at her little face. We had been in rehearsal earlier, and I know I'm not going to keep her out of the show, but she's got to be able to answer those questions. And I'm looking at that little face and knowing I can help her. One little girl, she had tears in her eyes. I said, why are you crying? I said, am I being mean? She said, no. I said, what am I doing? I said, I'm giving you tough love. Yes. I said, you got to be tough. Come on. You want to be part of the Debbie Allen Dance Academy? Do you think you want to be a Redbird? The Redbirds is my most talented young ones, and they are bad. They are badass. They are badass. And she said, yes. That pulled her out of the crying. I said, well, stop all the crying. Stop it already. Come on, you got to be tough. You got to go. And she's like 9. She's tall. I think she's like 13, but she's only 9. So I can give her a break. I don't know.
That tough love, there it is.
Tough
Just like
love.
your mom gave to you.
Yeah.
This is nice. How do you know when it's time to move on?
Oh, child, I don't know. Well, at this age, at this point in my life, you know, it's a matter of respect. And when you're someplace where you feel, you know, and I'm used to working with young people. There's a lot of younger people running the networks and making decisions, and that's great. You know, I hope my children will be one of them one day. Give me a job. But it's a matter of respect. If I feel like there's really a bit of disrespect, that's when I know I'm going to move on. Mm-hmm. Because I don't need to do it. I don't need to be anywhere where, it's not like every idea I have is perfect. But if there's a lack of respect, it's time to move on. Or if there is negative energy, it's time to run. Run. Negative energy to me is like hitting me with a baseball bat. It really affects me. I can feel it, you know, and people have that energy. That, you know, it's one thing if somebody's determined and secure and, you know, confident. It's another thing if they're negative. Negative energy lets me know it's time to move on. Or somebody else needs to move on, if I can move them.
Yeah. Yes. Them or you, right? Have you ever taken any time away from dance? Have you ever stopped dancing?
Well, the directing kind of takes me away.
Yeah.
You know, I was dancing 6 hours a day when I was doing Fame. You know, it was just, and every day, because I had to train those kids on the weekends. I didn't have any days off because I had to get them up to speed. I directed Cat on a Hot Tin Roof on Broadway with James Earl Jones and Felicia Rashad and Terrence Howard and Anika Noni Rose. And it's a play, but it always turns into dance for me because it's about the movement of the actors, the movement of the lights. It is always dance. Mm-hmm. It is. I was directing Scandal, and Kerry Washington actually made fun of me one day. It was so cute because I had like 12 people in the scene. And when I walk on a set, I don't go in there going, okay, how are you all feeling? What do you think? What? I go in and I go, let's read the scene. Okay, I think, let me give you broad strokes. If you come in, Mr. President, and you go here, and then this happens, and then take that pen and then write this over here, then you're gonna, let's see if you coming in, blah, blah, blah. I played everybody's part, and I went through all of it, and then Karen Washington went, all right, Debbie Allen, choreography. So. Still, yeah.
There's no breaks.
There's no breaks.
There's always dancing.
It's always dancing.
So what is your personal favorite dance style and why?
You know what? One of my favorites that I never really trained it is flamenco. It is so passionate. It is so exact. All my kids train in it. They all, I offer flamenco.
You jump in class sometimes?
I just try not to get all in their business, child, you know. But I sit there and we go, Eleanor McCoy is my Graham master. She trained with Graham and in New York. And we were sitting watching the run through, and when the flamenco came up, we were like going like this. And the girl, if we had this, I know, girl, we would have torn that up. It would have been fierce. I love flamenco. I really do. It's so passionate. It's so hot. It's steamy, and it's just classic. I don't know.
That's a great answer. I like it. You've already done so much in your career and left a legacy. Is there more that you hope to leave in
Not
the future?
leave, but things I want to do.
Yeah, what do you
That's
want to do?
different. I'm not leaving nothing. No, I'm leaving everything. I would love to direct opera. That's still a goal for me because I started in Houston with the Houston Ballet Foundation when they did let me in, and I was in the corps de ballet of the opera, and I was in Aida, and I was one of those girls in the tomb dancing, and I remember we were rehearsing. I was the only one that didn't have to wear Egyptian 16 or whatever that was. I was much tanner then because we were in Texas, and we were dancing around, and one day someone stepped on my skirt, and Leon Danelian was choreographing. He said, "That's it, all the skirts off." And I was like, what? Opera was amazing to me, and the music and the production value, you know, the bigness. It's such a spectacle, and it's so beautiful. So opera's still a goal.
Okay.
I've not done it yet. I'm putting it out there, honey. Who's listening? Okay.
I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
Yeah, I have one in mind too that I want to do one day.
Which
We'll
one?
see. I would like to do Faust.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
Well, we're kind of winding down, wrapping up. I think the big final question is your opportunity to give advice to the dancers that are here or that are watching for their careers.
Well, I would just say that I feel that dancers are the smartest people on the planet. We're the most resourceful. We are disciplined. We can take direction and criticism and take it in without it destroying us. And we can move forward with those ideas and notes and make it into something magical. I think we will be brilliant in places with modern technology, because math is at the core of everything that we do. Balance, you know, how do we equate things, organizing things. I think we're really good to go into a world where they need creative ideas, marketing. Oh my God, anyone from the dance world should be really great in the world of marketing and advertising, that kind of thing, or in any kind of academic environment, because that's the world that, at the core, I think we can guide it and shape it and color it and make it more interesting. I mean, if I was teaching a class right now, it would be so much fun if I was teaching the history of the theater, because that would make it so fun for the students, you know, all of that, you know. Or we can be very businesslike, concise, and go right in. We can go in. We know how to go in and do the work. So I'm actually looking right now. I actually contacted the agency because I wanted to see who really was, had really strong experience coming out of the dance world, computer skills, writing programs, designing things, and good with people. You know, we are people because there's always an ensemble. There's very, there's Baryshnikov and there's Cynthia Gregory, but usually we are working in a group. So we're used to changing clothes together and doing stuff together. And so I think you work really well in an environment that needs collective ideas and a team.
Are you still looking?
Yes.
Anybody out there?
What?
Right?
Okay. Hey, I'm looking. Call me at the Debbie Allen Dance Academy. Send it in.
This has been an absolute pleasure and a treat. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We really appreciate it. You guys stick around. We have a great panel coming up. Miss Debbie Allen, everyone.